Hello and welcome to We Learn, Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 10th of the subject Modern Indian Political Thought and the chapter Bhagat Singh, the Martyr and His Ideology. Let's see the topics to be covered. Introduction, the making of a revolutionary, Bhagat Singh's ideology, the rejection of Congress leadership. Introduction. Bhagat Singh represents the character of Indian revolutionaries in the third decade of this century. His rejection of Gandhian philosophy of non-violence, his antipathy towards the reformist attitude of the Congress, his belief in Marxian communism, his atheism, his belief in terrorism as a mode to uphold the dignity of a suppressed and humiliated people, his claim of revolution as a birthright were all ideas typical of the Indian youth in the 20s and the 30s. The trial and execution of Bhagat Singh under what was called the Lahore. So Bhagat Singh's ideas, they were completely opposite to Gandhian philosophy of non-violence or non-cooperation or truth. His antipathy towards the reformist attitude. He did not like the reformist attitude of the Congress where slow and gradual and non-violent changes were aimed upon. His belief, he agreed with Marxian communism where revolution was the only solution to get the power back from the ruled by the humiliated or by the suppressed class. His atheism, his belief in terrorism as a mode, he believed in terrorism, he believed in revolution, he believed in protecting oneself as the only mode to uphold the dignity of the suppressed and the humiliated people, the class, the people which were suppressed, which were humiliated. The terrorism revolution was the only mode to make them come up, to also give them the rights, to also give them the equal dignity. And his claim of revolution as a birthright, it is a birthright of every individual for a revolution when they are not given their rights which need to be given to them. And his ideas of the Indian youth and his ideas, these were all ideas which are very typical of a person who is a youth, who is in 20s and who is in the 30s. So his ideas were typical as of his age. He disagreed with Gandhian's philosophy of non-violence or slow or gradual changes or peaceful changes. He said that peaceful changes should not be there because they do not bring results, they do not bring output, and they do not give rights to the people. So revolution and extremist mode of revolution and also violent means was the answer for the problems of the suppressed class. The making of a revolutionary. Bhagat Singh's family background has played an important role in shaping his ideas. The family background. Bhagat Singh's ancestors had a distinguished military record in the army of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. They had settled down in Khatkar Kalan in Jalandhar district. So his ancestors were all from the military record and in the army background and the army of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So this instilled a blood which was all full of revolution and also full of revolt. The growing unrest in the Punjab. In the last decade of the 19th and the first decade of the 20th century, the agriculturalists of Punjab became the greatest sufferers. Political contacts. Bhagat Singh as a young man had joined the National College at Lahore. The college had a reputation of attracting young men who later on were in the forefront of various movements. So the college also had a reputation of attracting the young men who were in the forefront of various movements, of various dharnas, and of various activities which were organized by the college from time to time. Here he was under the influence of Jayachand Vidyalankar, who taught history. So a person who taught history, he was under the influence of that person and basically was influenced by his ideas. Avenging the death of Lala Lajpat Rai. These were the days when all white members Simon Commission toured the whole country to make recommendations about future constitutional reforms. So basically all white members, the Britishers, also consisted of the Simon Commission. They made recommendations about the constitutional reforms, about the way the reforms had to be undertaken, and they have to be peaceful, they have to be gradual, and how the reformist policy have to be adopted here. The defense of terrorism. The leaflet eloquently and succinctly explained the stand taken by the revolutionaries. The futility of reforms. the mockery of parliamentary system, the need to prepare for a revolution and a justification of violence, all of these found their place in the leaflet. So the leaflet, the pamphlets, the advertisements were also very eloquently and very in an elaborate manner, and also succinctly was explained, and the stand was also explained by the revolutionaries that the reforms which were slow, peaceful, they were not required, and they also made fun of the parliamentary system of the government, which was only the talking shop, and which did not aim for anything and which did not achieve anything. The need to prepare for a revolution, it was a need to prepare for a revolution and take the rights back, and also the justification of violence on all these grounds to protect oneself, to defend oneself from, and to also overthrow the British rule. They found the place and they were very important in the leaflet. The Lahore conspiracy case. In the Lahore conspiracy case, all the charges, including the killings of Saunders and Chanan Singh, the assembly bomb case, and the setting up of bomb factories, were put together, and Bhagat Singh and his colleagues were to be tried by a special court to expedite the proceedings. Bhagat Singh's ideology. A careful analysis of Bhagat Singh's ideology is very important in order to understand his political activities and convictions. The defense of atheism. Bhagat Singh's political thought finds its expression in 3 of his writings as well as numerous statements he made during trial. In an interesting article captioned "Why I Am an Atheist," he tried to explain away his differences with other revolutionaries who became devout and God-fearing in their prison life. So he basically tried to explain the differences he had with other revolutionaries who became God-fearing when they were in prison. And Bhagat Singh said that why he explained in his writings and in his books that why he is an atheist. I mean, why he is a non-believer in God. No more mysticism, no more blind faith. He did not believe in mysticism, or he did not believe in blind faith. Thoughts on social revolution. Bhagat Singh's ideas on socialism and the type of society he envisaged for India were influenced by Marxism and Russian communism. What Marxism said that there are 2 classes, the rulers and the ruled, the haves and the have-nots, and the haves, the rulers and the ruled, they're always in conflict because the rulers always try to snatch the resources from the ruled by their economic power or by their economic means of production, and for this the ruled have to wage a revolution, have to wage a war to overthrow the rule of the rulers and to establish a classless society where everybody was free and where everybody could get everything which they wanted and nobody ruled over anyone. So this is what he favored, and Bhagat Singh also favored this, that yes, slow and peaceful changes were not the solution, and basically revolution has to be a solution for India's problems and for giving India independence from the British rule. Explaining what he considered the revolution, he had made it clear before the court that he understood by it reorganizing society on the socialistic basis. So he made it clear before the court that he understood by it that reorganizing society on the socialistic basis what it meant for him, in which the sovereignty of the proletariat should be recognized and a world federation should redeem humanity from the bondage of capitalism and misery of imperial wars, in which the sovereignty, in which the freedom should be given to the proletariat. Proletariat means the workers, the ruled class, the workers class. So in which the control should be given, the sovereignty, they should be free from the external rule. Any external rule should not rule upon them, and a world federation where humanity, the mankind, should be free from the bondage of capitalism, where people were ruled and they were suppressed, they were repressed, and the rulers used to rule them with the power of their money or with the power of the economic means of production, and had to end the misery of the wars or of the imperial wars. The rejection of Congress leadership. Bhagat Singh's last message explains the differences the revolutionaries had with the Congress leadership. So the revolutionaries had a lot of differences with the Congress leadership because the revolutionaries believed that the Congress Indian National Congress did not work for anything. Its members did not work for anything, and their methodology, their strategies were not effective enough to give India or to give India the independence which it was acquiring for. The withdrawal of non-cooperation movement after the Chauri Chaura incident, where a police station with policemen inside was burnt by an angry mob, was greatly resented as a betrayal. So, where a non-cooperation movement was, the Gandhi favored the non-cooperation movement, but the Bhagat Singh did not agree with non-cooperation or non-violent methods, and he withdrawed from the non-cooperation movement. And where a Chauri Chaura incident happened, where a police station with some policemen inside was burned by an angry mob. So this was the incident which also happened. Bhagat Singh's charge against the Congress was that it did not represent any revolutionary force. There was no revolutionary force. There was no force which could get India independence and which could unite people with each other. There was no such force. There was no such thing which was there. It represented the interests of the bourgeoisie, which did not want to lose its property in any struggle. So there was a struggle between the workers and the haves and the have-nots. The bourgeoisie represents the class, the capitalist class, and they did not want to lose their property in any struggle. They did not want to give their property, they did not want to give their money to the proletariat, to the workers on which they were ruling. The real revolutionary elements were to be found in the peasantry and the workers. The revolutionary elements, the workers, who were suppressed, who were repressed by the ruling class, and the peasantry, the farmers, they were also suppressed by the ruling class. And the real elements of revolution, the real revolutionary and the aggressive elements have to be found in them, in the agriculturalists, in the peasantry, as well as in the workers who worked hard. So this was all about Bhagat Singh, his ideas, his methodologies, and his movements, wherein he was not in agreement with the Congress methodologies, in which the way they worked, in which the way they found, in which the way their methodologies were there to realize their aims and objectives. He was of a completely different opinion. He said that revolution has to be the means, revolution has to be the answer to end people's misery and to get India's freedom and to get India's independence back. So this is what he said, and various incidences happened, various incidents where Bhagat Singh opposed them, and also the Chauri Chaura incident which happened, that was an example of extreme revolutionary thing which was given by Bhagat Singh. So that was all about different stages and the life he led, and also the stages which were covered here of Bhagat Singh. So that was all for you in this session. There are some of the questions, you have to do it yourself. Question number 1. Which two qualities were considered by Bhagat Singh to be the most important ones for the revolutionary? Question number 2. What was the nature of the change levelled against the Congress by Bhagat Singh? Thank you. Happy learning. We learning.